Now this video is a little bit more about stonework, just in case I missed something. And this is cultured stone. I'm going to show you how I did it. Little tricks maybe I forgot last couple videos. Now here's what we did. We put 2 layers of black paper on. Then we put our wire mesh on. But what we have to do is we have to caulk where the black paper ends, so no moisture get in there. We also caulk around where the electrical outlets come in. Now the first thing I do is I open up all the boxes, because if you don't open up all the boxes and take a stone from each one, you can see it laying here, they're all going to come out different. You might get one box that's all different, so you got to kind of mix them in. And then I put them down and I look at them, and I could see how they're going to lay. Now I noticed that there's no really skinny pieces, so I got to make them. I know that this has a curve in it. This one right here is thicker on this end, and this one thicker here, so it's hard to level everything. So I'm going to have to saw it. Now I'm finishing up in here, and you can see where right here I put my scratch coat on. That's on my second video, how you put the scratch coat on. And I came up here and I went around the garage. And with this kind of stone, what I try to do is break it up. I go 1, 2, and I cut it. 1, 2, and I break it up. And I don't want long things going through, because then it looks doesn't look right. So every 2, 3, 4 at the most, I kind of break it up. That's the way I do it. And then when you look down, you're not going to see waves. You know, one line's going down. It breaks it up. It's hard to level stone like this. So I'm looking for a stone that I think will look good on the corner. Now right here, I don't want this big joint in here, so I'm just going to pick a mark here and a mark here. And I'm going to cut that stone down so that fits a little tighter. Also, it's got an upward bevel. You see that? So I'm going to grind the top of that off a little bit. I'm going to make that stone fit a little tighter. So I get my little grinder. Now if this is real dry, I like to wet it a little bit. This is just water. And that makes sure that the cement is going to stick, you see? It sticks right in there. Just like that. Then I get the cement. I already tested the piece. And I go over it like that, just to stick it on. And then I pat of that on, and then when I get it, I put it on, and I shake it in. And when I'm shaking it in, and I'm taking a stone, you see, and I'm shaking it in. You see how it's bubbling up on top? That's how I know it's real secure. And then I just go over it with my trowel, make sure it's in there pretty good. We don't want no bees or anything getting in there like that. Now what I like to do once in a while is make my own wall ties. This is a piece of the same wire mesh we used to put the stucco on. And I just cut a piece out like this. Real simple. And that's my wall tie. That lets me sleep at night. You see, I bend it into like a V. I put it in the wall like this. Then I get myself a washer like this and a screw. And I get the screw and I drill it right in there. That gives me peace of mind. Sometimes, depends on what kind of stone, all you need is a screw. That's just my way of doing things to make sure it's secure. Now it's a good idea to use a level just to make sure you're kind of running straight. If it's long distance and it was straight, I would use a chalk line like I did on my third video. Okay, because these things all came in different sizes, I gotta make it. I gotta cut it here, I gotta shim off some right here. Once I get it cut, and then I just sneak it in there. Like that. Now this is a little job I just finished, and I didn't use wire mesh behind it. I actually took the grinder and I cut in grooves and I stuck it on that way. And I'm just going to show you how I did it. Now here's what we're going to do. This wall here is painted and everything's falling apart, but what we're going to do is match it to this stone over here like that. So I'm just going to show you how we start putting this stick-on stone on. Now the first thing I like to do is get my little grinder, diamond blade, and what I'm doing is I put a starter strip down here and I put my fingers underneath it so it's not laying on the sidewalk, because what happens in the winter, this will come up and move down. If they ever take these sidewalks off, it'll give me a little space under here. You have to make sure it's wet. I just use my sprayer. Make sure it's wet. I put my cement in like that. I take the stone, put the cement on the back, shove it in. That's it. A job like this, I take my wire mesh and I just cut out little pieces of wire for an insurance policy. A lot of people say, well, why didn't you wire mesh the whole thing? Let me tell you something. I've been doing this a long time. I see a lot of termites and everything get behind the wire. I like to stick it to the wall. This is just an insurance policy. Same thing. I drill it and I pin it. Now when I'm filling in a space like this, get a stone that's close and I mark it. Pretty much where I want it to go. I'll be using a grinder to cut it. Measure it up. Use any kind of hammer you want. Base it a little bit. Just the style and I do things. My way of doing it. A little stone on the back. Shove it in.